So welcome, Fiona. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed, and tell us a little bit about your business, your amazing journey, how you're totally changing your life in midlife. Your story is absolutely brilliant, and just about how things have changed in your life and all that sort of thing. So thank you so much, and I won't keep you long. I know you're busy, and I know you're going to be going on the school run in a minute, so I won't hold you up too long. So Fiona, can you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, your business, so that everybody can just get to know you and understand your journey.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I am Fiona Myles. I am 55, a mother of one, a gorgeous little 5-year-old who has some special skills. Let's just put it like that. I have written a book. I've written 2 books actually. I used to be into the business of selling vintage jewellery, and then I had a sort of epiphany during lockdown to write my story, and that's just exactly what I did. I just got on with it and started writing my story, and it's come to fruition now. It's just about to be published, and all my intricacies and foibles are about to be launched into the world for everyone to read.
It's absolutely brilliant. It really, really is absolutely brilliant. So how long have you been, because you worked for yourself doing other things before that as well. So how long have you actually been an entrepreneur?
I would say
you call yourself an author now.
Yes, but at the same time, yeah, I would say I've been an entrepreneur for about 4 years. I think it's about 4 years. Yeah, I think it's about 4 years.
Cool. And have you enjoyed being an entrepreneur? Why did you become an entrepreneur in the first place?
Basically, I started it because I did want to, as I was getting older, I just wanted to have that, be able to look forward and do something that would sort of be sustaining, our sort of income coming as we're coming near that sort of retirement age and stuff. And so I wanted to build a little business selling the jewellery. And then that kind of turned itself on its head, and now I am writing for a living. So,
and why did you turn your hand to writing? I know you said lockdown, but I mean, a lot of us have actually seen some of your chapters and things, because you've popped it in the group, and it is enthralling. It is absolutely enthralling. But what was it that made you say, I am going to become an author? What happened all this time in your life, your mid-50s, now you suddenly decided to become an author? And it's so exciting, Fiona. It's just so exciting, and watching your journey and how you've changed is incredible.
I would say the main thing was I have a story to tell. I had a life where everything went completely wrong. And I ended up on drugs, into prostitution. I ended up in an awful mess, an absolute mess. I was homeless. I was living in Victoria Station in London at one point. It was absolutely incredible, the mess that I got my life into. And I can't lay the blame at anybody else. It would be nice to, but it was totally me. And then as years went on in that vein of living, and then I was introduced to a church, and I became a Christian, which I would never have thought that would ever have happened to me because of the way I was, but it did. And I went on this journey of trying to be a Christian in the beginning, because I wasn't a very good one in the beginning. So yeah, and I just really knew that my story could and will inspire others to get out of whatever situation they may be in. And with my story, I'm happy to point people in lots of different directions for help. I turned to Christ, and that's good. That worked for me. That's brilliant. But there are many other avenues that I'm more than happy to point other people in the direction of, to get themselves, out of that lifestyle. And my aim at the end of the day is to inspire.
I know. We're all so inspired by you and your journey. And did you know, so when you first decided you wanted to be an entrepreneur, obviously there was that burning thing that I've got to change my life. It can't just be like it is now. But did you know that you had a book inside you at that stage? Did you think, really secretly, I don't want to do jewelry, I want to be an author?
No, not really. I don't know. I don't think so. I had in the past made some feeble attempts to write my story, and it wasn't. Yeah, I managed a few lines, and it's like that. It just wasn't going anywhere. But for some reason during lockdown, and I think it may have been a time factor, because I was at home. You know, I was working from home, and Georgie, being classed as vulnerable, she was allowed to go to school. So in that time, you know, I was at home and no Georgie, and you know, I wasn't having to travel to work and go to work and then go and get Georgie. I was in the house. So a friend of mine said, you know, have you not thought about writing a story? I said, well, I did once and it came to nothing. She said, get it done. So she gave me a kick up the backside, really, to get it done. So I did it.
And it's amazing. And watching your confidence grow through this process, Fiona, is incredible. I just would like to say to everybody who's watching this, Georgie is Fiona's little girl, because it's, you know, just so that everybody knows who Georgie is. And what do you really most enjoy now? Because at first, when you first started to write your book, you were just saying, I'm writing a book. And now you say, I'm an author, which is just, I love it. I just absolutely love it. So what is it that you most enjoy?
I most enjoy the feedback that I do get, you know, because I have posted parts of the book out here and there. And, you know, in the beginning, you know, I was kind of like, oh, I'm writing a book, you know, thinking that everybody would sort of be like, oh, shut up, you know, you can't write a book. But as it began to like really manifest itself, you know, and I was gaining in confidence and starting to believe, you know, that I could actually do something fairly, you know, inspiring and whatever. It became, I thought, no, I'm not just writing a book, I'm an author. Because I then started to find myself writing poetry. I found myself I've written a little children's story for some friends, but you know, I'm actually going to expand on that as well. So it's grown all these arms and legs now, and it is going to become something that is going to be huge in my life.
I love that it's not, I'm hoping, it is going to become something huge. That you're not, I'm hoping to, I want it to, I'm trying to. You actually said it is going to become something huge, which is incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible. So with all these things going on in your life, why did you decide to join the WOWS Hub? And what were you initially hoping to get out of it?
In the beginning, I joined the WOWS Hub because I had been part of the main body of the group, which was Life at 45 at the time. And I was really just skirting around and enjoying the interaction, you know, that I was able to do at that point. I think I was a bit like a ghost floating around in it. But I realised that, you know, to get the best out of, you know, what was being offered, I needed to take a step and invest and go into the hub and, you know, take note and, you know, learn from the stuff that was in there and the master classes and all the stuff. And I did that, you know, that I used all those things in my vintage jewellery, and it sort of began to grow from, you know, the stuff that I was implementing at the time, at that point.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Because you were, like you say, you were like you just didn't use the comment, you were just watching all the time. And now it's amazing, like you do lives and all sorts, whereas who'd have thought, Fiona? Who would have thought? Who would have actually thought, even just 6 months ago, how far you've come on your journey, isn't it?
Yeah, massive leap. It's a leap.
It is a leap. It's really a leap, and I just find it so amazing. So what is it that you love? So you've been in the WOWS Hub. You came in right at the beginning, didn't you? Come in September.
I came in, around the beginning of the hub. I think I was in around the beginning of the main group as well.
Yes, you were in the free group. But yeah, you were in the free group for about a year, and then, like you say, you decided you just needed to. Because I think what happens is when you're in a free group, you tend to hit a limiter, don't you? You tend to you stay at a certain point, but when you decide you're actually going to make a difference in your life, then you're prepared to do something else. So what is it that you love about the WOWS Hub? And I know everybody loves about the WOWS Hub, but what is it that you love and how has it helped you?
It's helped. I mean, for me, the whole experience has actually given me a real boost of confidence. You know, I wouldn't even have agreed to do this interview, I don't think, you know, and things like, you know, just having the confidence to interact with other people, having the confidence to begin to implement the stuff that's being put in front of us and given to us, and putting it into play and watching it begin to take shape. That in itself builds a level of confidence, because you're like, oh, this is working, you know, and you're like, oh wow, you know, and the way that the whole thing is named, you do kind of say to yourself, oh wow, that worked.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the WOWS are wonderful older women succeeding, but it is, the community in there is so encouraging, isn't it? It just, you know, you don't feel stupid. Like sometimes when I've been in other groups with younger women, don't get me wrong, I love younger women because, you know, I love the fact that they're so confident and they have so many opportunities in life, but they're in a different place. And sometimes when you ask like a tech question or something, you feel a little bit stupid. But we don't. It's safe to say anything in there, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. And I mean, I know it's probably taken me longer than most of you people to get to that point. But when I got to that point, I felt so safe, you know, and I feel it's so easy to just ask even the simplest question, you know, and you don't feel like, you know, you've asked a stupid question, because the people that take the time to answer and message and help, it's just incredible, you know. You know, you do feel that when you're older that you should know the answer to some things, but you just don't, you know.
But you just don't. And it's really nice because everybody encourages everybody, and nobody judges, do they? There's no judgment. So if you ask a question, you don't feel judged, whereas often in other groups you feel quite judged if we're asking them. And like you say, when we get older, we feel we should know these things, but we don't know these things. And it's a place to really grow. Yeah, it's really, really lovely. So what are your plans for the future, Fiona? What have you got planned for the rest of your life? What are you really looking forward to, and how will all that affect your life? Obviously, you've said you're going to be an author. You are an author.
Yeah. Well, I've got great plans for the future. You know, like I say, the writing is growing legs, and I am doing lots of different little projects going on. I also want to build a little course or a group where people can feel safe to come in and say they don't have the first clue about writing, because I can identify with them and hopefully take them to that point of, right, off you go, take your wings and go and join another group that can take you on the next step. I'd like to do that, because I've found very much within this group that I feel like I've made friends with a whole load of people that I don't know, which is so funny. It's like they're all over the country and I've never met them, but I actually feel like so many of them are actually my friend, you know. And so that's something that I'd like to create, a nice warm group where, you know, people can come and even just get that little step up into being able to join a bigger group, you know, whereas I took such a long time to get confident, you know, in the group that I'm in, and I wish I'd been able to do that sooner. So I think for me, I'd like to maybe just be the sort of platform to be able to launch someone with very little confidence into your group, and not have them wander around for so long.
Yeah, and it is confidence building. And I also think that, and we've said it loads of times, that family are really supportive. And they really are. But when you're around women who are also, then obviously they're not all authors, they're all sorts of things. There's seamstresses, there's quilt makers, there's coaches, there's photographers, there's everything in there. But we're all on the same journey of being women in midlife, starting a new venture or growing a venture that we've got, realizing our potential, and that we're all in midlife doing it, and we all know. And it's also all okay. Some of us got a bit hot. We all understand it. We're all there. We all really understand how everything feels. And it's, like I say, family can be so supportive, but it's been around women who really understand where you are, isn't it? That really get what you're saying. That makes so much difference.
It does. And there's such a variety of people in the group doing so many incredible things. That in itself is inspiring, to see what other older women are actually out there doing. You know, that's inspiring in itself.
Yeah, we all inspire each other. And lastly, what is the best advice if somebody was like you a couple of years ago, or even just over 12 months ago, with your jewellery business, feeling you weren't getting where you wanted to be? You know, you feel like you just keep hitting your head in life like this, don't you? That you're just not making any progress. What would your advice be to somebody that's either starting off and feeling really overwhelmed, or just feel that they're just not getting any further?
Really, the best advice that I can give is to, you know, get involved in a good group and begin to invest in yourself. You know, step out and invest in you, because what I found was when I stepped out and actually invested in me, that's when, you know, my mind and my heart began to open up to more, you know, bigger things. Because that investment, I think when you place value in something, it adds value to what you want to do, because then you're more inclined to actually take the advice you're given, because you've placed a level of value on it, and you're not going to undervalue what you've just invested in.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense, but I know what I meant to say.
No, it does. It makes total sense, Fiona. It really makes total sense. I think when you decide that actually I'm not going to keep hitting my head on the ceiling all the time, because we all start to feel we're running out of time. That's the thing. You know, we start to think, I'm running out of time here. You know, I don't want to be poverty stricken into my old age. I don't want to just live off the state pension, which I'm not going to get till I'm 104 anyway. And so you start to feel, God, I'm running out of time, don't you? And it's actually crossing that bridge and saying, well, what I've been doing so far isn't working, so I need to do something else and try something else. And then just getting into a brilliant group like the WOWS Hub makes all the difference, because it's making a difference to all of you.
Yeah, and not being afraid to change direction as well. If something's not working, don't be afraid to change direction.
Yeah, it's amazing. Fiona, thank you so much for doing this interview. Your story, I know your book is going to be a bestseller. We're all going to buy it, certainly. And I just can't wait to see where this goes from here, because like you say, I'm sure you're going to have multiple income streams from all sorts of things. You're going to have your own group, you're going to do all sorts of things, and I just know your journey is going to be amazing, and I am so thrilled to be a part of it. So thank you so much for coming in today. I'm sure there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of women are going to find this inspiring. And I will see you over in the WOWS Hub very, very soon, I'm sure. So take care. Thank you, Fiona. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.